How do you prepare when you have to come back to such an intense and psychologically complex world?
It feels like you never have left. It feels like were there for a long time, because I think the show has been making something wonderful, and that is that we start with the last second of the last season. So just feels, first of all, it's easier to go back to,
Yeah.
because emotionally it's not a different thing. It's just you're in that moment. And I think it's great that there's a line like a year in between. It's non-existent. It just keeps going like that. Who knows what's going to be season 5?
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's interesting as an actor to just go back to the last minute that you've done. It's great.
I think, from certain things, because of John's amazing writing and the complexities of all the writing, whatever, I definitely, I keep this Victor book, where I keep things and from like key things, and I have to make these notes and kind of map certain things out for me so that I can reference them even to pick up from that last moment. But I thought Catalina just said it great. It's just there. It's also just there, and and as harrowing a world as it is, I always look forward to jumping back in.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What can we expect from season 4 in terms of your character's emotional journey?
I think season 4 for me is the strongest. I feel that we are going to find a very interesting arc. I mean, like after what happened to her last season and the start of to this season, you can see, I mean, like as a human being, you can go like down, like, what do you mean I'm Miranda and my husband died and what am I going to do with children? She can go into like a deep depression as anyone, is grief, right? But that's not real life. She's in a pressure cooker and she just feels pressure to just find answers, and she's going to push and the town is going to push back, and it's going to be a nice battle for everybody, not just for her character, but for everybody.
I think that where Victor left off at the end of last season with Henry, his father, was this idea that his father was saying, I love you, and we're going to get through this. And there's this huge element of trust, which is a big thing for Victor, to trust that he's going to be safe, and with his father. And of course, there's an interesting trajectory here now already, with Henry and Victor, and where things start with the death of Jim. And I think Victor feels some guilt about that. And also then Victor's ties to Tabitha, which is caught up in this cycle of Miranda or whatever they're trying to figure out there. And I think what's really interesting as the season goes on is what happens between us two, and that whole storyline.
You play characters who live in constant fear and psychosis. How did that influence the way you developed your own roles, emotionally speaking? You play characters who live in constant fear and psychosis. How did that influence the way you developed your roles, emotionally speaking, the emotions of your character?
Go for it.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting because Victor, for instance, I think comes off in a certain way of this as this character with this, because of his trauma and what he survived the longest is, he's been living with that for a very, very long time, and it continues. Yeah, sorry, could you just repeat the end of the question again?
Talking about the emotions of your character, all of this fear and psychosis, how did that influence the way that you developed it, the way you worked on your character?
The way we worked on it. Yeah, well, I think that now that I probably, because of the stories, it's what feels like the beginning of the end. I think that that's in terms of the psychosis, the emotional work that we all have to do, whatever coming into I guess these last couple of seasons now. I think it changes the approach, and I think it does for me. Of course, we have to see what each script is going to bring. And as I've said, you know, you're always working towards the core of the character. I think for Victor, I think it's something where, you know, there's a lot of, because of the trauma, there's a lot of emotional stuff there that has been really corked in and held in and compartmentalized. That even whether he's being, you know, he's being scared by something, or he's being given love, or whatever it is he's dealing with, it's forcing him to deal with these emotions, you know. So what I like about it is it's just forcing me to go further into that very, you know, psychosis, emotional work.
I don't understand the question, but I feel that it all depends on the writing, you know? It all depends on where they want the character to go. I feel that this season Tabitha is going to even more push to find some answers, to find some, you know, to find an exit from that town, to feel the pressure to get her kids. But at season 1, it's like you find this character that is like in a complete unknown with a huge baggage on her back. You know, she has lost a child and her marriage is about to break, and then she needs to regroup and like be together. So it all depends on what the writer wants for the characters that determined season.
Fans are looking for clues everywhere. Is there anything they should pay closer attention to?
The funny thing about this
Yeah.
is that when people are figuring things out, I am figuring things out with them.
I agree.
My kid the other day was seeing, look at this color, it's here and here and here, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's the yellow here and here, here. It's saying something. So there's always going to be a clue.
Yeah.
You would want to make a clue out of,
I mean,
anything.
anything.
Do you see that calendar?
Yeah.
The calendar has a date.
Yeah,
So-
that's right.
And maybe is gratuitous, or maybe is something incredibly important, you know, later on.
That's so true.
So I am figuring things out as the fans, or the people that love, I hate the word fans, or
Yeah.
the people that love the show are figuring things out as
Yeah.
well.
I would say that the same thing. I wouldn't know what to tell someone
Me
to look
neither.
for. We would never know because we're looking ourselves.
Nobody tells us anything. So
Yeah. We don't know ourselves.